What is up, YouTube? Salty Texas back with another bowl project. Had some scrap ambrosia. Actually, this wasn't scrap. These were some blocks I bought about 9 months ago. Growing some tree mold there. Decided to do another project involving some ambrosia and doing a little bit bigger project, a little bit more ambitious with this one. So this is going to be probably my second largest bowl that I've done to date. So got the ambrosia here on the lathe, and we're doing the same thing that we did to a similar video where we basically are just taking it down, getting that nice round shape, trying to even everything out. And as you can see from the beginning of the block, a lot of unevenness to this particular bowl already. So we're just getting the material taken down here, trying to even everything out as much as possible. But, you know, basically, I wasn't able to make a perfectly round shape. So we had this kind of like wedge block thing, and then I took it over to the miter saw, cut it in half, took this 5-quart bucket and glued everything down, and had this beautiful pink East Coast resin I'm using in this particular project, and basically filled up that 2.5 quart nearly all the way, and just decided to do something a little bit bigger with my lathe this time. So we got it all taken in, beautiful, clear, pinkish red type resin, and boom, there is the blank. However, you can tell already by the pieces of the bucket that are still attached. I couldn't get everything off for some reason. I did put my typical turtle wax in there, but it casted really well. The only concern that I had leading up to this part was the fact that I've never not been able to take the entire mold off. So I was really concerned about that. I figured I was going to get a lot of chip out, so I took a piece of scrap, took some 15-minute epoxy, put it on there, and then put the faceplate onto the back of the mold. So once we got it on there, now we're just going to basically turn down as much of this plastic as I possibly could. And I was really worried because the plastic portion of it wasn't completely taken off, and for some reason I didn't logically think that through. I should have known that it's just plastic. It'll start coming off in these cool ribbons once I get the chisels on it, basically. So I expected to have a lot of chipping in this one for some reason, and for the most part it went pretty smooth. Here I am using my round edge carbide tool, getting a little bit of chipping on the back, and I've noticed that the back of the bowl blanks are usually more problematic than the main body of them. Once I took the plastic part, I was able to shape everything down the way I wanted, and here we are making the mortise. So far, no chipping up until this point, or at least not enough significant chipping to where I was worried that I wasn't going to be able to complete the project. So once we got the mortise kind of like built down, I did sharpen and change the ends of my square carbide tool, which, looking back on the video, I didn't have it at the appropriate angle, and I probably could have done a little bit better as far as forming that mortise if I had maybe laid the carbide tool a little bit flatter. So that was user error on my part. So got the mortise made, got it reversed. Now we got it down on the chuck, and then we're just removing material. You can see those cool shavings come off of that. And I loved this part, and I was really happy. I was glad to capture that part of the actual project because I really love that part. And I'm learning, even though we're kind of like late into my, not late into the career, but I'm noticing that when I use the chisel, I get a lot of more material off, but if I want a finer edge, the round carbide is definitely the way to go. And you can see a little bit of chipping there, which had me very scared, because usually when I get the bowl into like a nice shape that I want, I'm really freaking out that I'm going to basically just ruin this by, you know, putting too much pressure on there and destroying this beautiful piece. But I got the skew, and now I'm just taking down the edges the way I want it, trying to get as much of that bubbling and chips out of it as humanly possible. And it's never going to be 100% the way I want it, but for the most part it went pretty well as far as smoothing out the edges and evening everything out. So now we're taking that dirty face plate off of the bowl blank, and I usually will cut those down or use the square carbide tool to basically make a tannin and then just cut it off. But I just decided to go ahead and just, you know, battle through that one and get all the bowl, you know, shavings off of it that way. So here we are getting it really gouged out here, and once I got the scrap piece where the faceplate was attached, Everything went pretty smooth other than when I started to hit the actual ambrosia. And I don't remember the ambrosia being as hard to actually get through, but you can see here I had some chipping once we started to get to the ambrosia portion of the actual bowl. And at this point I'm debating, what approach to kind of take as far as getting all these nasty chips out, because I knew I could sand some of it, but I knew these larger portions definitely needed a tool to basically even them out. So I decided to take some smooth edges and just take some small shallow strokes, trying to get everything out the best way I can. So usually by this time I'm using the square carbide tool to kind of even out the bottom of the bowl once I got most of it gouged out the way I want. However, I was getting a lot of chipping with the carbide tool, so I just went ahead and used my bowl gouge and just tried to even everything out as much as I possibly could. And this part went relatively well, but I didn't get as much material off of that ambrosia as I wanted, which turned out to be a really good thing, because once we got to the end, it was an absolute beautiful project. And here we are a little bit later toward the end. Went danger close to the mortise as far as gouging everything out, but overall was able to get to a good depth and have a beautiful bowl type interior to this portion of the project. And here we are just smoothing everything out, and I'm deadly afraid that I'm going to have some chip out and one of the lips of the bowl is going to crack. But right there, I'm pretty happy just doing some finer tune work with the lip of the bowl. But by this time, I'm pretty happy with it. So cut my losses, went ahead, sanded everything down, starting at 320, going up to 1500, and then hitting it with the micro mesh. But I didn't do any wet sanding. Probably could have done a little bit better had I done that. But once we got that beautiful wood wax polish on there, here we are just finishing everything out, getting everything nice and polished. And you can see just the beautiful color coming off of that, and it's absolutely gorgeous. Love the way this turned out in the end. Large bowl, piece of ambrosia, and here once I stopped the lathe, you can see how wonderful the texture of the wood and the combination of the epoxy looks. Absolutely stunning type of finish. And I'm sorry for the lighting. I ended up finishing this bowl at night, so I didn't get the cool like sunlight, but here you can see in the camera just that ambrosia just really having that cool texture, those cool tiger strikes that we love. And there's the interior of it, and you can see that we went with a bigger slope on the edges of the bowl. Absolutely beautiful. Okay, so project is finally done. It is super late. I just got back from the gym, was polishing it up after my run. So here we go. This is absolutely just gorgeous. I mean, I didn't think it would turn out this good. I really didn't. I had some troubles with chipping, as I always do on this channel, but damn, that looks good. Look at all that. Tiger bowl, another piece of ambrosia. But wow, just look at that. Absolutely gorgeous. One of my bigger projects that I've done, but I'm just happy in how beautiful this looks. Here's the bottom of it right there. So, man, absolutely gorgeous. Thanks for sticking to the end. I mean, it looks absolutely wonderful. And I know I used the blank for the thumbnail, but wow, look at all that. Some chipping, yeah, but for the most part, absolutely stunning. Stunning project. So, hope you liked it. Don't forget to subscribe. It's hot here in Texas. I'm wearing my hoodie because I don't want to show off my weak arms. I'm mostly a runner. But anyway, so hope you liked it. Check it out. Ambrosia pink bowl. Absolutely gorgeous. Okay, so I'll see you guys in the next project. Hope you liked it. I know I did. All right, bye.